Rockstar has already released 2 trailers for GTA 6, but honestly, guys, we still don't know that much about the game itself. Most of the information we have comes from leaks and rumors. And according to fresh rumors, the new GTA is going to be unbelievably long. According to a post from GTA 6 Updates on X, an unnamed insider confirmed that completing the single-player campaign in GTA 6 will take around 75 hours. The story will be split into 6 chapters, 5 main ones plus a prologue, with the 4th chapter being the longest. If we break it down by numbers, it looks like this. The prologue takes about 2 hours. Chapter 1, 6 hours. Chapter 2, 13 hours. Chapter 3, 16 hours. Chapter 4, the biggest one, 22 hours. And the final chapter, Chapter 5, will take another 16 hours. The insider also mentioned that the final part of the game will take place outside the United States. Interestingly, this is the part Rockstar spent the most time developing. If this information turns out to be true, GTA 6 could end up being the most ambitious story Rockstar has ever worked on. For comparison, the main storyline in GTA 5 takes about 32 hours to beat, and GTA 4 is around 27 hours. And remember, that 75-hour estimate doesn't even include side content like city activities, side quests, mini-games, or any of the extra stuff. So guys, if this leak is accurate, GTA 6 might become one of the longest games in history. And don't forget, GTA 6 is officially set to release next year, on May 26, 2026. It will be available on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles. The PC version hasn't been announced yet, but it's expected to drop within a year after the console release. Which means, unlike GTA 5, PC players won't have to wait that painfully long this time, and that's definitely some good news. At the THQ Nordic Showcase, a brand new first-person fantasy action RPG was announced. It's called Fate Keeper. Along with the reveal, the developers immediately shared the release window and dropped a debut trailer, which really caught the attention of a lot of gamers, including me. The game is being developed by Paraglacial, a studio formed by former members of Grimlore Games, the team behind Spellforce 3. Fate Keeper is set to launch in early access this winter, and the Steam page is already live. In Fate Keeper, players will be thrown into a dark world where they'll have the chance to write their own story. According to the developers, every decision you make will influence how events unfold. The game promises a variety of locations to explore, flexible character progression, unique enemies, and visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5. Now, I'm usually not the biggest fan of UE5, but honestly, guys, it looks stunning. And I really hope the optimization turns out solid as well. In some ways, Fate Keeper actually reminds me of Dark Messiah. So if you're a fan of that cult action RPG, you should definitely keep an eye on this one. Here's the short description from the Steam page. Travel through a fascinating world full of ruins left behind by ancient cataclysms. Shape your own story using relics, spells, and your trusty sword. In this first-person role-playing game, your choices determine your destiny. The gameplay trailer showed the main character in action, fighting different types of enemies. In combat, the player uses both magic and melee weapons, including a sword and a bow. The game is set to release on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series in late 2025. So guys, what do you think of Fate Keeper? Personally, I'm really impressed. This one definitely grabbed my attention. Guys, just in the last video, I was talking about the rumors of an Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake. And today, I stumbled upon a very interesting article about it. Turns out, actor Matt Ryan, the voice of Edward Kenway in the game, revealed that Ubisoft actually threatened to sue him after his comments about a possible remake. Back in June, during a fan event, Ryan was asked about Black Flag, and he casually replied, "Well, maybe, my friend, you'll have to play it again." That exact phrase was caught on video, and it quickly spread across the internet. Naturally, many fans took it as a hint toward the remake, which had already been rumored for a while. Later, at another fan meeting, Ryan admitted that he had no idea someone was secretly recording him. He literally said, "I was just speaking freely, not realizing anyone was filming me on the slide." And then the company threatened me with a lawsuit, so now I'll be as silent as a fish. That video confession was posted on TikTok, but it was later deleted. Still, you know the internet, nothing ever truly disappears. Officially, Ubisoft hasn't announced the remake yet, but insider reports have been surfacing more and more often lately. So honestly, guys, I think Matt Ryan just gave us an unofficial confirmation of the Black Flag remake. Guys, THQ Nordic and Alchemia Interactive have officially confirmed that the remake of the cult RPG Gothic 1 has been pushed back to early 2026. The game was originally planned to launch by the end of 2025, but the developers decided to take some extra time for polishing. And honestly, I'm fine with that. Better to release it in perfect shape than rush it out broken. Along with the delay, a demo has also become available on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. Until now, it was a PC-only exclusive, so for the first time, console players can finally try out the remake well ahead of release. The new trailer shows fresh gameplay footage, combat, a visually reworked Corinus, updated monster models, and those familiar dialogues, now completely re-recorded with modern voice acting. The Gothic 1 remake was first announced back in 2019 with a test demo to check if there was enough player interest. The full development decision was made in 2020, and by the time the game actually releases, it will have been 7 years since the announcement, and almost 2 decades since the original came out. Man, time really does fly. Nearly 20 years already. The future of the Gothic series is still uncertain, but if this remake succeeds, the chances of a continuation will rise dramatically. For now, though, all we can do is wait for early 2026 and hope that it's really worth it. Titan Quest II from Grimlore Games has only just launched in early access on Steam and the Epic Games Store, but it's already making a lot of noise. There's been huge interest in the game, both from players and streamers, and the early feedback so far has been very positive. On launch day alone, Titan Quest II pulled in over 100,000 viewers on Twitch and hit around 27,000 concurrent players on Steam within 24 hours. Right now, the game is sitting at number 2 on Steam's bestsellers list, with early access reviews being overwhelmingly positive. Players are praising the campaign and the gameplay itself. And let's be honest, guys, for a game that didn't have big reports, massive hype, or even a serious marketing push, just a couple of small trailers, these are very promising numbers. It's clear that Titan Quest II has already managed to find its audience. What's even more important, people are genuinely enjoying what's already in the game. Titan Quest II is doing really well in early access, and if THQ Nordic can keep up the momentum with regular updates, balance patches, and the promised features like multiplayer and crafting, the full release could turn into something truly special. The complete version of the ARPG is planned for late 2026, and not just on PC, but also on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. And for my Russian-speaking viewers, I know some of you were upset about the lack of localization at launch. Well, right now there are already 2 fan-made neural network translations available in early access, and they're actually working pretty decently. THQ Nordic has officially confirmed that Titan Quest II will receive a proper Russian localization, but that'll most likely happen closer to the full release. So for now, Russian players can still enjoy the game with these unofficial translations. And they're honestly not bad at all. The creators of Little Nightmares are back, guys. And their new game, Reanimal, is shaping up to be the darkest and most ambitious project in Tarsier Studios' history. In the latest trailer, the developers revealed more details and confirmed that the game will launch in the first quarter of 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch 2. Originally, Reanimal was scheduled to release in 2025, but the team needed more time. And honestly, judging by the footage we've seen so far, that was probably the right call. Visually, Reanimal inherits the unmistakable style of Little Nightmares, but pushes it even further. This time, the story centers around 2 children traveling in a boat, navigating eerie and dangerous waters. Here, fear lurks not just ahead, but also beneath the surface. For the first time, the trailer showed hand-to-hand combat mechanics, something we've never seen in Tarsier's previous titles. Stealth, the oppressive atmosphere, the haunting locations, all of it is still there, but now with a more active gameplay twist. And even though this is a new IP, Reanimal makes it clear that the spirit of Little Nightmares is alive. But at the same time, Tarsier is no longer limited by the boundaries of that franchise. This feels like a step sideways and forward at the same time. Who knows, maybe Reanimal will become the new signature game for the studio. Time will tell. Bad news for Days Gone fans. After releasing the game, Sony decided to cancel the sequel to the beloved title. And even when Days Gone recently got a bit of renewed support from the Japanese publisher, all players actually received was just a remastered version. Still, fans of Deacon Street John continue to hold on to hope that Bend Studio might one day return to the series. And now, guys, something curious happened. On Bend Studio's official account on X, a mysterious post appeared. The post only contained a single emoji, the thinking face with a monocle. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, but here's the catch. That account has never shared anything like this before. Until now, it only ever posted official updates about game releases. Naturally, the strange emoji immediately caught the community's attention, especially since nobody really knows what Bend Studio is working on right now. According to recent reports, they were developing a live service game that later got canceled, and after that, they focused on Days Gone Remastered. So now fans are speculating. Maybe Sony has changed its mind, and we might actually get the long-awaited sequel that the community has been dreaming about for years. Friends, here's one more GTA 6 update in this video. Analysts are once again making predictions about the game's price. And day by day, investors, analysts, and fans seem to agree on one thing. We're looking at what could be the most ambitious and most expensive project in gaming history. And unfortunately, maybe the most expensive for players too. The base price of GTA 6 might be set at $100, which would make it the first mass-market game ever to launch at that price point. Nothing's official yet, but Rockstar definitely has reasons to push the cost higher. The game is being described as the most anticipated release of all time, and according to different reports, development and marketing expenses have already surpassed $1.5 billion. And remember, guys, the game hasn't even released yet. And if we think back, GTA 5 had a collector's edition priced at $150. With inflation and Rockstar's track record, it's not hard to imagine GTA 6 having deluxe editions costing $200 or even $250. But many analysts remain skeptical. They point out that even $80 is a tough sell for the market. With more and more players pushing for affordable games, a $100 standard edition could be extremely risky. For example, Microsoft already dropped the idea of raising prices to $80, and EA isn't planning to do it at all. But if there's anyone who could set a new price benchmark in the industry, it's Rockstar. The game has an army of die-hard fans who would probably sell their last pair of jeans just to play GTA 6. What path Rockstar chooses is still unclear. But if GTA 6 really does launch at $100 for the base edition, that move could reshape the gaming industry, just like GTA itself once redefined what video games could be. So guys, what do you think about this price? Would you pay $100 for the standard edition, or even $250 for a deluxe edition? I'm honestly curious. How do you feel about this? Bitmap, Borio has released a new trailer for Terminator 2, Do You Know Fate, a dynamic side-scroller inspired by James Cameron's classic film, Terminator 2: Judgment Day. The game is set to launch on October 31st on all major platforms, including PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. The story follows the film's canon. The T-800 is sent back in time to protect Sarah and John Connor from the relentless liquid metal T-1000. However, the game also introduces new scenes set in a grim future, where John battles Skynet. Players can expect 15 action-packed levels featuring iconic moments from the movie. Saving John on the motorcycle, escaping the psychiatric hospital, and storming Cyberdyne. The game includes shootouts, stealth missions, chases, and epic boss battles. Each character can use cover, find special weapons, and upgrade their gear. In addition to the main campaign, The game offers extra modes like Boss Rush, Endless, Speedrun, Arcade, and Training. For retro fans, there's a CRT filter simulating old televisions, giving the game that authentic 90s vibe. Terminator 2. No Fate is your chance to hear the T-800's shotgun roar again and fight to save humanity in a pixelated universe where fate is still undecided. On the 2-year anniversary of Baldur's Gate 3, Swen Vinke, head of Larian Studios, published a post sharing how working on the game changed his life, and once again confirmed that the studio is already working on their next project. According to him, thanks to the success of Baldur's Gate 3, the team now has the opportunity to pursue their next crazy idea, though it's still too early to share details. Here's what the studio head himself said. No one knows yet what it will look like, but I can assure you that we are doing everything to make sure you have a ton of fun. And you know, I can't wait to show you what we're working on. But you'll need to be patient. It will take some time to get everything working perfectly, but trust me, it will be worth it. Baldur's Gate 3 was released on August 3rd, 2023, and since then, it has received 97% positive reviews on Steam, as well as numerous major awards, including Game of the Year at the Game Awards 2023. All that's left is to wish the Larian developers good luck. They truly earned every award and positive review they received. I really hope their next game will surprise us even more than Baldur's Gate 3 did. And if you haven't experienced this masterpiece yet, you need to fix that immediately. Trust me, you'll get tons of enjoyment from it, even if you're not usually a fan of turn-based games. It's simply a legendary game. At Summer Game Fest 2025, Mortal Shell 2 was announced, the sequel to the hit Souls-like from a few years ago. Jeff Keighley showcased a trailer highlighting the game's dark, gothic aesthetic with striking enemy designs. Some elements feel inspired by Resident Evil, some by classic Souls-like games, and some as if pulled straight from H.R. Giger. Gameplay-wise, it will follow classic Souls-like mechanics with bonfires and tough enemies. Players will be able to take down monsters in both melee combat and ranged attacks using old-fashioned shotguns. Unlike the original Dark Souls, the developers of Mortal Shell 2 put extra effort into animations. Watching the finishing moves on enemies is a pure delight. Additionally, the trailer features a track by Ben Sahar from the Polish death metal band Behemoth, which perfectly fits the game's atmosphere. Hopefully, the band agreed to contribute more than just one song. The game is scheduled for release in early 2026. At Summer Game Fest 2025, Mortal Shell 2 was announced, the sequel to the hit Souls-like from a few years ago. Jeff Keighley showcased a trailer highlighting the game's dark, gothic aesthetic with striking enemy designs. Some elements feel inspired by Resident Evil, some by classic Souls-like games, and some as if pulled straight from H.R. Giger. Gameplay-wise, it will follow classic Souls-like mechanics with bonfires and tough enemies. Players will be able to take down monsters in both melee combat and ranged attacks using old-fashioned shotguns. Unlike the original Dark Souls, the developers of Mortal Shell 2 put extra effort into animations. Watching the finishing moves on enemies is a pure delight. Additionally, the trailer features a track by Ben Sahar from the Polish death metal band Behemoth, which perfectly fits the game's atmosphere. The game is scheduled for release in early 2026. The creators of a Dark Messiah-style RPG showed gameplay, but players don't believe it's real. Alkohist, a fantasy RPG inspired by Dark Messiah from the little-known studio Pushan, recently released a new trailer claimed to be gameplay. However, the video immediately raised questions. It looks like a staged scene with scripted animations. The trailer lasts just over 40 seconds. The hero runs toward a fortification, blocks arrows with a shield, jumps into the air on a cart, catches a flying barrel, hurls it at an enemy, and engages in melee combat. All of this is presented with a Hollywood-like smoothness, without UI, and without realistic camera or character behavior. Naturally, users suspect that this is not actual gameplay, but just a cinematic. The developers have used this approach before. After the first trailer, Pushan admitted that they had used staged scenes for spectacle, and the new video differs little from the old one. As a result, there are accusations that no one has actually seen real gameplay yet. Friends, share your thoughts on what you saw. Do you think they are just trying to impress with pretty visuals? Or is this actually the graphics of the upcoming game and people are being too harsh?